All right, guys, we got another piece of land. This time, it's within city limits of Mount Shasta. And so Araya and I went and took a little tour with good friends of ours, and we are now in the talks of being able to set up a possible, still a lot of a process to go, but we're going to start the communications with planning, zoning, septic water hookups, sewer hookups, and just the basics, planning with city side of things. And then from there, we can take on a conversation about what it might look like. Maybe it'll work. Maybe we can come up with some numbers and terms that might work. So just wanted to throw that out there that Araya and I just walked a beautiful little piece of property that is within city limits of Mount Shasta. So send out good prayers and good vibes that all these things, they all just work itself out in time, and at least the conversation is moving forward. And that was really quick, like half an hour, and now I'm running off to the city of Weed because we have a little chamber city council tonight, and we have a couple friends from Lake Shastina that is coming over. And then for our little general public comment for 3 minutes, we're going to talk about tiny houses. And I think I already sent over, and Colette already sent over the tiny house ordinance of Mount Shasta to the city of Weed. And now we're going to go speak for 3 minutes. The power behind that is that anybody that speaks for 3 minutes represents at least 10 other people in the city. At least. That's minimum. So just the fact that 3 of us is going to speak means that we represent a minimum of 30 other people in the city of Weed that is also thinking about having tiny houses on wheels. And so that's another good thing. And so just want to throw this quick little video in there that, and then tonight we're going to Clandestino because Nikolai's mom from Spain came in, and so we have a small little celebration for her, and then we'll move on to tomorrow, to the next day. But yeah, that's good news. Put out some good prayers. We are just in the very beginning conversations. It still has a lot of paperwork, a lot of numbers to pan out and plan out. I just want to throw that out there because I know that there's a lot of other people that are feeling the same way. They look at Araya and I, and they say, these guys can manage. These guys can build teams. These guys have experiences in business. These guys are go-getters, and they're runners, and they're movers and shakers. And we've had this little piece of land in our care for 1 generation, 2 generations, for a decade or 2 or 3. And these guys look like the right people to manage it, to be good stewards over it. It's not ownership, it's only stewardship. And so we know we can multiply talents, and we know that our relationship with city managers, zoning, and hookups, and councils, and other business owners, and the nonprofit that's coming around the corner, we know we can do it right, and we know it can work out in paperwork. So I just want to throw that out there, that if you're thinking about that kind of stuff, there's other people thinking the same exact thoughts. And especially if you live in Mount Shasta, and especially if you live within city limits of Mount Shasta, then it's really easy for us to figure out a tiny house, affordable housing, alternative housing, and craft it to your intentions. For example, this set of friends that we love so much, we're going to keep names and stuff out, so just protection and keep everybody together. But this particular little family loves to garden. So most likely it'll start with maybe one tiny house, but it's going to be somebody that has a green thumb or loves to garden. And there's enough room for probably 1 more tiny house on wheels, water septic hookups. We'll come up with a planning to see how much tiny houses they want on the land. But most likely this will end up becoming a tiny house mini village micro village with people that love greenhouses, loves to get their hands and feet in the soil, loves to create things, loves the peace of nature. So it's just interesting that the marketplace shows us what types of people the villages or these tiny houses on wheels are meant for. So Araya and I do not have any business plan that says this is the only type of people that we want inside of there. No. We just get feedback from the people of what is needed. For example, we know there's going to be another tiny house village that's specifically for emergency services. We know that because we have too much feedback about police officers, fire department, our city staff members, our plant staffing, volunteer firefighters. That's huge. And these people struggle to find affordable housing within the city that they serve, and many of them have to live somewhere else, and it's farther for them. And so if we could create a tiny house to match the needs of the city, that's exactly what we're going to do. We also know that there's plenty of single moms with kids, plenty of that situation that always shows up, plenty of single dads with kids too. But we know that's another tiny house village, micro village, rent to own, lease to own, ownership for those markets. And so again, we're not coming to this challenge with solutions in our head of what it has to look like. We're just listening to what the marketplace needs, and then we're going to custom make it to fit the market. So if you guys are thinking about, you guys have a piece of land, specifically Mount Shasta areas, because the tiny house ordinance is already here. If you're in some other city like the city of Weed, and we get a piece of land in the city of Weed, well, now we're going to city council to push it on the agenda to start talking about tiny houses. And if you know anything about city, it takes a while. And if you know anything about county, it really takes a while for them to approve things. So you need to be persistent and diligent. And so the low-hanging fruit is in Mount Shasta. If you want Araya and I to come out there and take a look with you on your land, your vision, your goals, your inheritance, your mom donated that land to you and the family, and you want to see that land be used for good families or something, you just want to start the conversations, well, then reach out to me and Araya, and let's just start the conversations. All right, let's just start. And then, a year from now, we might have a really good plan that actually works, and it's a win-win-win, and there's a master plan, and there's funding for septic water hookups, and there's whatever. We'll make sure, there's nothing that's very fast in this world. It's not instant gratification most of the time. Most of the time, it's 1 year out worth of planning. So let's just start the conversation. Reach out to Araya and I, and let's figure it out. All right? Love and light. Stewardship before ownership. Love you guys. Let's go to the city councils of Weed and push it through for the next generation. Aho!